Welcome back to the channel, Unique Coins Value In, because we're not just talking about a value, we're uncovering a piece of British social and numismatic history that you might just have in your own change jar. Well, today, we're holding that story in the palm of our hand. This is the 1949 2 shillings coin, the florin, from the United Kingdom. It's not made of gold or silver. It's not incredibly rare. But it is a powerful numismatic time capsule from one of the most pivotal years in modern British history. Stick around, because we're going to dive deep into its design, its history, and answer the big question on everyone's mind. What is this piece of history worth today? Graphics appear next to them showing key dates and images. 1949, NATO founded, apartheid begins. George Orwell's 1984 published. To understand this coin, we have to understand the world of 1949. The Second World War had been over for 4 years, but peace didn't mean prosperity. Britain was exhausted. The country was still under rationing, for bread, for clothes, for so many essentials. Cities were still scarred by the Blitz. The economy was on its knees, and the once global British Empire was beginning to transform into the Commonwealth. Just a month into 1949, George Orwell published his dystopian masterpiece, 1984, a book deeply influenced by the grim totalitarian mood of the era. And across the Atlantic, the United States was now the undisputed global superpower. The Cold War was heating up, with the NATO alliance formed in April 1949 to counter the Soviet threat. This coin was minted in a world of austerity, uncertainty, but also a stubborn, resilient hope for a better future. So, let's get up close and personal with our subject. The 1949 florin. Denomination *** 2 shillings, 1 florin. Composition *** copper nickel, 75% copper, 25% nickel. Weight *** 11.31 grams. Diameter *** 28.5 mm. Edge *** milled first. Notice what it's not made of: silver. Pre-1947 British silver coins were 50% silver. But the war effort and the shattered economy demanded every resource. So, from 1947 onwards, the Royal Mint switched to copper nickel for all circulating silver coins. This change is a direct artifact of post-war austerity. This is the classic portrait of King George VI by Humphrey Paget. Look at his expression, resolute, but perhaps a little weary. He was a monarch who had led his people through their darkest hour, and his health was failing. The legend reads, George of 6D, G, BR, OMN, Rex F laughing face, ND, IMP. That stands for George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. But here's the crucial historical detail for 1949. He was no longer Emperor of India. India gained its independence in 1947. The title IND-IMP was an anachronism, a leftover from a bygone era. It wouldn't be removed from the coinage until 1950. So this coin, in a way, carries the ghost of the empire on its surface. The reverse is a beautiful and classic design by artist Harold Wilson Parker. It features a rose flanked by a thistle and a shamrock, representing England, Scotland, and Ireland. It's a timeless design of unity. Above it, the denomination, 2 shillings, and below, the year 1949. It's an elegant, understated design that speaks to a kind of traditional British stability, even as the world was changing dramatically around it. The vast majority you'll find are from the London Mint. However, coins were also struck at branch mints in Melbourne, Australia, and Bombay, India. Again, a last vestige of the imperial system. The Australian and Indian minted coins can be identified by a tiny M or I mint mark respectively, located just above the date on the reverse. These are generally a little scarcer and can command a small premium over the London issue. There are no major die varieties for this year that command huge money, but collectors always keep an eye out for sharp strikes and exceptional quality. Split screen. On one side, the host. On the other, images of coins in different grades. Good, very good, fine, very fine, extremely fine. Alright, let's talk numbers. Because this was a common coin that saw a lot of circulation, its value is almost entirely dependent on its condition. If you have a coin like this, heavily worn, with the design flattened out, date maybe a bit weak, this is in good to very good, GVG, condition. For a London Mint coin, this is essentially a pocket change coin. You're looking at a value between £1 and £3, $1.50 to $4 USD, maybe a bit more if someone needs it to fill a date slot in an album. It's a history piece, not a high-value asset. Now, this is a different story. This coin has full details. You can see the strands in the king's hair, the petals on the rose are clear, and the lettering is sharp. This is in very fine, VF, to extremely fine, EF, condition. A coin in this state is very desirable to collectors who want a nice-looking example. For a London mint, you could expect £5 to £15, $6 to $20 USD, depending on the exact grade and luster. For uncirculated, UNC coin, one that never saw the inside of a pocket, with its original mint luster and no bag marks, values start around £20 to £30, $25 to $40 USD, and can go higher for a truly superb, gem quality example. Remember, the Australian and Indian mint marks will typically add a 20–50% premium to these prices, sometimes more for top-grade examples. It's also worth noting that the Royal Mint did not issue official proof sets in 1949. They wouldn't resume until 1950. So, you will not find a true 1949 proof florin. However, you can find brilliant uncirculated coins that are exceptionally well struck and mirror-like, sometimes called proof-like or presentation grade. These are the pinnacle for this specific year and can be worth a significant amount to the right collector. When assessing your coin, look for luster ***, the original cartwheel effect from the minting process. Strike ***, sharpness of the ***, marks ***, absence of nicks, scratches, and bag marks. The difference between a £10 coin and a £50 coin can be very subtle. So look closely. Host back on screen, holding the coin thoughtfully. The somber, reflective music from the intro returns softly, so, the 1949 florin. It's a coin of contradictions. It bears the title of an emperor that no longer existed. It's made of base metal but symbolizes a nation that paid the ultimate price in a war fought with silver and gold. It depicts unity in a kingdom that was seeing its global influence fracture. Tea won't make you rich, but it will make you think. For a couple of pounds or dollars, you can own a tangible piece of 1949, a year of austerity, of transition, and the quiet, unyielding spirit of a nation rebuilding itself. I want to hear from you. ***, do you have a 1949 florin? Is it from London, Melbourne, or Bombay? Let me know in the comments below. The 1966 2 shillings, or as it's better known, the florin. This coin isn't just a piece of money, it's a time capsule from a nation on the brink of a monetary revolution. So, is it valuable? Should you be checking your change? Let's find out. To understand the 1966 florin, we have to understand its place in time. In the mid-1960s, the UK was still using a currency system that was, let's be honest, bonkers. 240 pence to a pound? 21 shillings to a guinea? It was a system rooted in centuries of tradition, but for a modern swinging 60s world, it was utterly impractical. The government knew it. The public knew it. Change was coming. In 1966, the Decimal Currency Act had already been passed. The plan for D-Day, Decimal Day, was set for February 1971. The Royal Mint was already designing and minting the new decimal coins. So, what does that make the 1966 florin? It makes it one of the last of its kind. It's a relic. This coin was minted with the full knowledge that its entire monetary system had an expiration date just 5 years in the future. That gives it a real sense of poetic tragedy, doesn't it? Let's look at the coin itself. It's a beautiful piece of design. It's made of cupronickel, that's 75% copper, 25% nickel, so it has that classic silverish look, but it's not magnetic. It has a diameter of 28.5 millimeters, making it just a hair smaller than the modern £2 coin, and it has a mass of 11.3 grams. It feels substantial. The obverse features the superb Machin portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin. This is the same portrait that would appear on the first decimal coins and, famously, on British stamps for decades. It's a modern, elegant likeness. Now, flip it over. The reverse is what I love. It's a stunning design by Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas. You have this beautiful Tudor rose at the center, the symbol of England, and it's surrounded by the national emblems, the Scottish thistle, the Irish shamrock, and the Welsh leek. It's a symbol of the United Kingdom, all on one coin. The design is simple, symbolic, and utterly British. Okay, let's get to the bit everyone wants to know. Is this coin rare? Is it the 1933 penny of the 1960s? Well, the short answer is no. Not even close. Say hello to that number. 196 million coins. That's right. In 1966 alone, the Royal Mint produced nearly 200 million of these 2 shillings pieces. It was a workhorse coin, meant for everyday circulation. They are not rare. Because of this massive mintage, and because they were used right up to decimal day in 1971, and even after as a 10p piece, millions survived. You can go on eBay right now and buy a circulated 1/4. Well, let's talk value. When we talk about circulated value, condition is everything. Let's break it down. This coin has seen things. It's been in pockets, purses, vending machines. The details on the rows are soft, the portrait is flat. A coin like this is, frankly, worth its weight in nostalgia. In monetary terms, you're looking at about 20 to 50 pence. It's a cool piece of history, but not a retirement fund. This is what most people will find. It has some light wear on the highest points, like the Queen's cheekbone and the petals of the rose, but it's still clearly defined. This is a lovely collector's coin for someone who just wants an example. Value. Around 50 pence to £1, now we're talking. This coin might have been in someone's drawer for 50 years. It has its original luster, its cartwheel effect is still visible in the light, and the details are razor-sharp. A coin in this condition is very desirable. You could expect £2 to £5 for a coin like this, maybe more from a dedicated collector, so, to be brutally honest, if you have a worn 1966 florin in your change jar, it's not going to buy you a car. But that's not why it's fascinating, but, and this is a big but, like with any mass-produced item, there are errors. And errors can be where the real value lies. Some 1966 florins have a tiny number, like a 1 or a 2, stamped on the effigy, right near the neck. This is a die number, used by the mint for quality control. It was a mistake for it to appear on the finished coin. These are much scarcer and can be worth £10 to £20 even in circulated condition to error collectors. If the coin blank wasn't centered correctly when it was struck, you can get a coin that looks lopsided, with part of the design missing or a thick, flat edge on one side. Major errors like this are always valuable, potentially £20 to £50 plus depending on the severity, so, if you have a 1966 florin, get out a magnifying glass. Check it carefully, so, the 1966 2 shillings florin. Its circulated value in terms of cash? Modest. Its value as a piece of history? Priceless. This coin represents the end of nearly 1,000 years of history. It was in people's pockets when the Beatles were recording Revolver, when England won the World Cup. It was spent in pubs, on buses, and in sweet shops. It's a tangible link to a world that was about to vanish forever on decimal day, 1971, so, if you find one, don't be disappointed it's not worth thousands. Hold it. Feel its weight. Look at the rose, the thistle, the shamrock, and the leek. You're holding a final farewell from old money. And that is seriously cool. Thanks for watching. What old coins do you have lying around? Let me know in the comments below. I read them all. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure into numismatics. Until next time, keep checking your change.